do not. He's still gonna go to like some doctor's appointments today and sort of figure it out, so I don't have an update on him yet. Hopefully tomorrow morning we get more clarity, or later today.
Do you think a goal like Ben scored last night can jumpstart him, ignite him, get him going?
I think he's been playing pretty good. Like he's got 3 goals already. It's not his fault. A couple of them are called back. But yeah, I think when guys are wanting to help produce and help the team win in an offensive part of it, and whenever you have success and can put one in like that, especially Landy style net front, I think it can help, boost the confidence a little bit, keep him going. It's always nice to get rewarded for your hard work.
Does it say anything about him that he didn't, he didn't dwell on it? He just went about doing Landy things still?
Yeah, well, it says a lot about him. I think that's the type of guy he is. He's just going to keep focused on what he needs to do. It's like the maturity in his game and the character that he has. He's just like, there's going to be stretches that players go through where they don't score, and you just have to keep playing and doing the right things and know that if you take care of your own process and your own details, that success will eventually come, and then sometimes it can come in bunches too.
So for a young team like Anaheim, had they won that game last night, 2 top teams, there probably would have been a lot of questions about, hey, how much fun is this group having? For you guys, this seems like the standard. You mentioned making sure the group continues having fun. How different is it for a team like you guys that expects this type of stuff versus a team like when you guys played last night who were climbing, trying to establish themselves? I imagine you guys are still having a lot of fun, but can you talk about maybe the way it's different now than it was that you guys got in Game 82?
Yep, that's a good question. It's just, I think when there's no pressure on you, you're pretty loose naturally. Guys are, young team. Guys are trying to take different steps in their development. There's quite a bit of leeway, from coaching staff, and you're just trying to see growth, and which they're definitely seeing. Like, that's a team that's on the rise, and their young players are developing nicely and turning into like top players in the league already. And then when you kind of get to the spot where you're at, there's more pressure, I think, like more pressure to be really good on a nightly basis. We have extremely high expectations, and in order to achieve those, you gotta, your standards gotta be really tight, so you're always kind of like nitpicking at your game. Not that you're not at that level either. I think that's how you get going, but you're trying to limit the mistakes. You're trying to be really good on the offensive side of things, and it's the pressure that you got to learn to handle as a player, I think. All of our guys, I feel like put a lot of onus on doing the right things and being really consistent at it, and you hear external noise and you got to block it out a lot of times and just keep going about your business. But it's a completely different mindset. They kind of remind me of where we were after my first year. You get a young team and things start going good, and then you're just out there playing and having fun and getting the job done, and that can snowball for you. You can become a dangerous team that way. And we got into the playoffs last year, and again, that you even enter into the playoffs, doesn't matter who you're facing, you felt like you could win, and there's not a lot of weight on your team. It's different. You got to be able to sort of have that mindset when the pressure's on you, and still be doing the right things as consistently as possible.
You always say that there's lots of great teams. Everybody always says it, but have you noticed that Anaheim, San Jose, Chicago, Utah, that's 4 teams that haven't made the play, haven't been relevant in a while.
Yeah.
They all look like they're good this year, or they've started out well. Have you noticed that the bottom of the conferences has risen up? And
on our side, we don't see the other team and other side enough, but both conferences are tight. But I just think you look at, if you're finishing in the bottom part of the standings year after year for a few years, you're getting guys like Carlson, McTavish, you're getting Seneke, guys that played last night and are really good players. And and before that it was Terry, and so they've already got the second wave of guys that have played a year or 2 or 3 and coming to their own. So they're definitely turning the corner. San Jose, they get Celebrini and Smith, and especially Celebrini, and he helps turn the whole franchise around. And then it's just about continuing to take the next steps. But those teams are all coming, which makes our conference even more difficult. There's no there's no guaranteed win night and there never has been, but I think those margins are becoming smaller and smaller. You're gonna have to be at your best to beat anyone, especially when you're playing some of those young teams that are playing loose and having fun and still checking the right way, because there's a lot of dangerous offensive players that have come into the league over the last couple of years.
We talked about last night that first period you liked what you saw, third period, second period not so much. Have you been able to kind of look at
dissect
that
it? Yeah.
Figure out?
Yeah, we went through it. And the second period wasn't bad either, it's just, I guess it's just not quite to the standard that I love to see. And there can be many factors in that. Fatigue being one of them. I think our top guys, especially last night, not the best night. Wasn't bad. Effort was there. Conscious was there. I think as the game went on into the second period, they hadn't created a lot, and they were pushing a little bit in that regard, so we didn't manage the puck as well. And their top line looked like they had lots of jump too, and they have some dangerous guys, so it was a little bit back and forth for me. It just wasn't quite up to our standard for the 20 minutes. We survived it with some good rush coverage from our D, some good goaltending, and we had contributions throughout our lineup that kind of helped us go the other way. So, yeah, you just regroup. But we focused a little bit today on rush coverage because we've been really good in our D zone, and were again last night. Is just kind of the rush coverage part of it, and arriving in D zone is where all the chances happen, seconds after entry into our zone, right? So we had some things that we wanted to clean up and discuss and make sure we've gone over them already, at different points during the year, but it popped up again last night, so we're just, trying to get better for tomorrow.
You mentioned the fatigue conversation. I guess when you have a long home stretch like this, what is that rest versus rust conversation kind of look like?
Yeah, I don't even think we're in a position this year where there'll be any rust at all, except maybe coming out of the Olympic break. We're too busy the whole year. So it's now about, just making sure that we're not tight coming into the game, doing what you need to do in the gym. There won't be a lot of practice time even over this homestand. Next week we've got the 3 days. When going into those 3-day breaks, we've given them the sort of optional day, gym recovery, then we give them a full day off, then we come back for a really good practice to get ready for our next set of games, and that's worked real well for us. That's what we did going into the Edmonton game, and we had lots of pop. And but being home, just being able to get home earlier, no travel, getting in your own beds. We've been in and out of our city a lot here recently, and I think it's been kind of taking its toll. So getting this stretch at home should really help fill our gas tanks for the next little bit of our schedule.
If you look at the scoring, it's Nate, and then it's 3 kids, 2 of which you've already played, and you mentioned them already, Carlson and Celebrini. Do you think he's the type of guy who likes playing against those young guys and telling them, showing them, I'm still the big dog here?
Yeah, I think that's part of what makes the best guys the best, Nate included. They're so competitive but Nate's seeing that every night, right? Whether it's playing against McDavid or Sid or the young kids that are up and coming, I think that's always there. I think that the top guys like Nate that are so consistent at what they do, they use that as fuel on a nightly basis. They know they have to be, at the top part of their game in order to help your team win and in order to have individual success. So it's part of what, being a star player is about. And I think you can take that through the lineup. I think you're a third line center or a fourth line center or a third pair D. You kind of know what your matchup's going to be, and you're trying to win that matchup, and the more lines and more individuals that do that, better chance you have at success.
Few last ones, guys.
Scott really impressed the TNT panel last night when they were asking about his preparation and kind of the way that he studies the game.
Okay.
He went off for about 3 minutes. It was pretty impressive.
Okay.
We talked to you a lot about his personality and keeping things light in the room. What kind of impact does he have on maybe even a guy like Gavin, young player, just helping them understand the game better? And does he have kind of a leadership voice and maybe breaking down what he's seeing from other teams?
Yeah, well, I think they all have a voice, him included. I can't go into like what their personal conversations are like, but he's a student of the game, and he's been around a long time, and I think the experience, part of it and how he prepares, like if they're discussing that with young players, they can take a little bit from everyone, what they like, what they don't like, and kind of build their own routine. Yeah, and they watch, they watch and learn a lot too on like how guys prepare and how serious he is. Like Wedge is a fun guy. He's fun to be around, fun to talk to, great teammate, supportive guy. But there's also, he's got to be ready to play. So he has a serious side too, where he's getting ready, that he's going to do certain things to help him, feel the best when it comes to his game. And whatever he studies with UC pregame, like they find a rhythm in it. And yeah, I think, guys kind of know what everyone's routine is and how they prepare. Maybe not as in depth as maybe what he shared last night in TNT, but I'm sure there's a lot of those conversations going on. I've witnessed a few of them.
With Val getting more testing, is that a concerning thing that it's maybe
Well, he's
not
getting
as-
he hasn't been looked at yet since last night. He got evaluated in the room and he's sore, and then they got to get imaging and all that kind of stuff today. So it's definitely a concern. I mean, he's not here today and left the game early last night, so he's going to miss some time. I just don't know how much.
Finish, man.
To that effect with Scott Wedgwood, with the way that he's been playing, you've mentioned that, the step that Mackenzie Blackwood took in game 1 to game 2 was a step in the right direction for him. Does Scott Wedgwood playing the way that he is take a little bit of that pressure off to get Mackenzie there now?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And listen, Mackenzie's going to work to get there now. Like he wants to play, but it allows us to, like, Mackenzie's going to play tomorrow, and then we'll reevaluate for the next game. Like Wedge played really well, and we may go back to him. We may flip-flop him back and forth for a little bit here. We're just, we're going to have to take it day by day at this point, and there's no rush. It's a long, long season. They're both going to play a lot of games, and if we can use both of them for a while, that's great by me. But like the idea is to keep them both feeling good about their game and get them both feeling good about their game, and then keep them there. And so we got a really good chance to play a rested goalie and a goalie that gives us a chance to win every game.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.